What's up everyone, TJ here. In this video, I'm gonna highlight 5 snowboards that I tested in collaboration with Snowboard magazine. All these boards are focused on progression and they're all a little bit different. So we're gonna have some nice variety in this list. And before we jump into the video, I wanna say thank you to Snowboard Mag for supporting the channel. If you wanna get your hands on a copy, I'm gonna have that linked down in the description below. So please make sure to go check that out. Let's jump into it. All right, and the first board I want to highlight is the ARBOR Formula Rocker. This is going to be an all-mountain freestyle focused board on the ARBOR lineup. It is going to be slightly directional. You're going to have a little bit of a directional outline to it with a slightly longer nose than tail outside the contact points. It runs their rocker system, so it's going to have a parabolic rocker, and it is going to be an overall rocker profile for easier turn initiation, more leverage for presses and butters, and a slight benefit in soft snow as well. It also is going to run their Grip Tech side cut, so that's added contact points placed right under your feet to give you a little bit of a more confident feel in variable or icy conditions. Overall, this board is going to have a pretty playful feel to it. It's going to be pretty buttery and jibby and have a forgiving feel. Going to be a solid choice if you're trying to learn the fundamentals, but still offer some nice versatility for more all-mountain exploring as well. So if you're looking for something like that in a rocker dominant package, check out the ARBOR Formula Rocker. And if you'd prefer something camber dominant, they do make this board in a camber version as well. And the next board on this list is the NEVERSUMMER SNOWTROOPER. So this is an all-mountain freeride focused board on the NEVERSUMMER lineup, and it does have a slightly directional design to it. It's going to be a directional twin with a bit of a directional outline, so a slightly longer nose outside the contact points, giving you more surface area up front, as well as a 15mm setback. You're also going to get NEVERSUMMER's original rocker camber profile. So this board is going to be rocker dominant, but it's hybrid. So you have a long rocker section between the feet, giving it that overall rocker dominant feel, and then camber zone starting under your feet going out to the tips to give it a little bit more power and a little bit more energy once you start loading up that energy and tension in the snowboard. It's also going to be loaded with all the tech you'd expect from NEVERSUMMER. It's going to have their power grip side cut. It has carbon built into the tips to help give it even more snap and energy, as well as multiple dampening technologies and a sintered base. And I'd say this board is just going to be a very versatile resort explorer. It's got some decent stability and power to it. It holds an edge quite well. It's got a decent bit of precision. It's something that's going to be good for progression, but it's going to stand up to more aggressive riding styles as you do get to those higher levels of progression and start riding more steeper, technical, advanced type terrain. So if you're looking for a versatile all-mountain board to explore the resort with that has a nice feel for carving, it's going to offer a benefit in soft snow and still feel fairly comfortable in the park and doing freestyle stuff as well, consider the NEVERSUMMER SNOWTROOPER. And the third board on this list is the SALOMON Sight. This is an all-mountain board on the SALOMON lineup, and it does have a bit of a directional design to it. You're going to find a little bit of a directional outline, so a slightly longer nose outside the front contact points, giving it more surface area up front, as well as 3mm of taper and a 20mm setback. It runs their cross profile camber, so this thing is camber dominant with positive camber through the main body of the snowboard and rocker outside the bindings going out into the tips, making it a little bit more forgiving and less catchy, as well as helping it out in powder a little bit with those directional features. You're also going to find cork built into the sidewall underfoot to offer a bit of a dampening benefit and an extruded base. And I would say this is like a solid middle of the road all mountain board with a focus on versatility. It's got the features built into it to help you out in powder and soft snow and enhance that carving experience. I think positive camber combined with a little bit of a directionality does make carving just feel quite a bit better compared to your typical true twin snowboard. It's got enough stability to hold up to a more aggressive riding style as you're going through those stages of progression, and is still a pretty solid freestyle board as well. I'd say probably going to be more fun hunting down side hits and looking for natural features, but still holds up in the park as well as both a jib board and a jump board, although I'd say maybe a little bit more jump leaning when it comes to the terrain park stuff. So if you're looking for something that comes in at a great price and going to offer that nice middle of the road versatility for exploring the whole resort, check out the SALOMON Sight. And real quick before we move on to the last two snowboards, I do want to let y'all know that we have a comprehensive review linked down in the description for pretty much all of these snowboards, where you can get all the details and some information on how it feels in a wide variety of scenarios. So if you're curious about any of these in particular, please make sure to go check out the individual reviews. And the fourth board on this list is the Roam Mechanic. This is a freestyle focused board on the Roam lineup, and it's a true twin. It runs their contact rocker profile, so it's going to be flat through the main body of the snowboard with reverse camber out in the nose and tail to make it a little bit less catchy, and overall going to offer a very predictable, easy to control feel. It also has their twin bamboo hot rod, so milled into the core in the nose and tail, going from under your feet out into the tips right in the center of the snowboard. You're going to find some bamboo built into there, offering a little bit more energy and a little bit more snap, as well as an extruded base. Overall, the Mechanic is going to have a very manageable feel to it with a softer flex. It's a pretty buttery snowboard, so if you're looking to work on those flat ground type tricks and that kind of progression, it's going to be a great choice for that. Has a really good feel for that kind of stuff, and is also just a solid one for learning the fundamentals, whether that's learning your first turns or just getting into freestyle riding. So if you're looking for a more forgiving twin that's going to help dial in your riding style and make those early stages of progression a little bit more enjoyable, consider the Roam Mechanic. And the final board on this list is the BURTON RIPCORD. This is an all-mountain board on the BURTON lineup with a slightly directional design to it. Very slight directional outline, as well as a 5mm taper and a 25mm setback. So it does have some decent directionality to it to help you out on those days where you might find some softer snow. It runs their flat top profile, so again, flat through the main body of the snowboard with reverse camber going out to the tips to make it a little bit less catchy and more forgiving, as well as an extruded base. But one thing I think is pretty unique about the RIPCORD is it runs Burton's Easy Bevel, so it actually has a slight 3D shaping to it outside your bindings, where the base and edge is beveled up a little bit, making it much more forgiving and catch-free when you're flat base, preventing you from hooking up as much, and also has a really fun feel for butters and flat ground type tricks. You can lean into the nose or tail more confidently, knowing that it's going to be a lot more difficult to catch those edges as you are working on that kind of stuff. Overall, this is going to be a nice, forgiving choice for just general resort exploring. Going to be a good one for everything from learning your first turns to dipping into the trees for the first time, while still offering some nice versatility if you find yourself in soft snow or even working on freestyle progression. So just a fun one for dialing in that riding style and a solid first snowboard choice. If you're looking for something like that, consider the BURTON RIPCORD. All right, and those are the 5 boards I was able to get out there with the mag that offer a nice benefit for various styles of progression. If you've had a chance to ride any of these boards, let us know what you think about them down in the comments below. You can leave any questions for me down there as well. Don't forget, I'm gonna have all these boards linked down in the description if you wanna read more about them. And drop a like if you got some value. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in a new one next time.